Uh, I'm calling the meeting to order for Oregon School Board Association OSBA Executive Committee meeting on Tuesday, November 12th, 2024 at 12:32 p.m. Welcoming and roll call. I want to do a roll call real quickly, and I will state the names of those in attendance. The officers, Secretary Treasurer Don Watson is present. Emily Smith, President-elect, is present. Vice President Emily Smith is present. President-elect Chris Cronin is present. Immediate past President Sonia McKenzie is present. And myself, President Samuel Adrobo, is present. We have in attendance our Secretary Treasurer-elect, Chrissy Wrights, right? Chrissy Wright.
Right.
Right. Chrissy Wrights is in attendance. We have a tradition in post-election in September that we invite the officers-elect to attend the executive committee, which is an open meeting, and appreciate you being here to ensure a smooth and successful transition. And of course, we have this Lynelle Trissel, Emily Nishik, the executive director, deputy executive director, and chief legal officer Haley Purcell, and OSBA's legal counsel Bob Sterninger in attendance. I think I did state all those in attendance, and the roll call, we have a full attendance of the committee, so we do have a quorum. My welcoming remarks are going to be brief, but really full of gratitude of where we are since the last time we met. The last 30 days or so, we're full of accomplishments, progress, deep gratitude for you, Emily Nishik, on your first road show that you led, alongside with Haley Purcell, Friends Mudio, and Adrienne Anderson, and not to be missed, Lynelle Trissel in the background supporting all of us and in attendance in the last road show. I want to quote a comment that I have heard a lot. One that comes to mind immediately is from a board member who was in attendance in the Roseburg regional meeting that represents Douglas County, or most of Douglas County, where a board member told me at the end, Sami, this is the best regional meeting I have been ever, or in a while. And I told her, how long you've been around? And she told me since 2011. So this is really the sentiment of what I'm seeing. A positive note that we started celebrating the good work, emphasizing the challenges ahead, and really the diligent work of the team, making sure members can see themselves in this regional meeting where they can participate, learn, and follow up. I know this has not been just what we have been doing to prepare in the last 30 days or 60. We started this work since last year, and I know the staff have worked really hard to be where we are. The work continues. We do have many members who are following up with us with questions and outreach about services, membership benefits, questions about the dues, and other resolutions. So really appreciate your support, channeling any questions that you cannot answer to me or Lynelle or Emily, or to respond to them if you can, to make sure people are well informed and connected with the work we do. We had a great conference. I don't need to reiterate how good the conference was. And I'm just really full of gratitude. The small things that Emily's team have done and incorporated or did along the year, from going to DC or learning about best practices here or there, or learning from past conferences and incorporating those in this conference, is continued work over the year that's led into a very eventful and successful month. As we look forward in the month ahead, definitely the discussion around how local boards are going to consider those resolutions and how can we support them be as informed as they can be is going to be really important for the members of this committee to be aware of, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. With that, I conclude my welcoming remark, and next item on the agenda is approving the agenda. Is there a motion?
Mr. President,
Madam President-elect.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I
Is there a
second.
second? Been moved, it's been seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, no, is there any objection to the motion? Seeing there's no objection to the motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is board member complaint discussion. I will be stepping out of the discussion for the board member complaints agenda item, any corresponding executive session that might relate to it, and also any actions that may relate to it. I'll be present but not participating in discussion or abstaining from any decisions in that. As such, and in alignment with succession of leadership in this committee, I will be handing the proverbial gavel and the presiding officer for this committee for the next agenda item will be the president-elect Chris Cohen. Chris, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I take this responsibility very seriously. And thank you for the confidence you have in me. And I look forward, and I see that our colleague Sonia McKenzie has her hand up. I'd like to recognize you, Sonia.
Yes, I wanted to also recuse myself from the executive session too. I mean, from the, also recuse myself from the discussion.
Absolutely, Sonia. A permission to recuse yourself, of course.
Okay.
Thank you for being here and being part of this so far. So at this time, what we need to do is we have Chrissy Wrights, who is not officially yet a member of our executive team. She has been invited here, and we do have the option to invite her into our executive session if we choose to do that. She would not be able to participate in terms of major discussion, but I believe it would be advantageous for her to be part of it, because we may be and probably will be continuing this discussion into the time when she will be officially a member of the executive team. So do I have any objection from Emily or Dawn or Sammy or Sonia to including Chrissy Wrights in our executive session? I see no objection, so we will invite Chrissy in. And so I need to read this official script. And so if you'll bear with me, we are now.
Chris,
oh, yes.
Can I say something before
Yes,
we
please.
go in?
Yeah. Yes.
I just wanted to kind of set this up, the topic,
Oh, yes.
while we're still in open session.
Okay.
So the reason that we are here is because there was an OSBA board member that met with Emily Nischik and myself and shared with us a variety of concerns. They asked not to be identified, so we will not be identifying them. They also asked that we not share this information with the board or the executive committee, but based on the nature of the concerns, we thought it was necessary for us to share those concerns with you. And so Emily and I will go into the executive session for the purpose of sharing the information we have, but we will not participate in the discussion of next steps. And I, as legal counsel for the organization, will not be providing any legal advice to the executive committee regarding the information that we have received. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear before we go into executive session.
Thank you. Any questions for Haley about that? Okay, so now I will read the script. We will shortly move into executive session to consider attorney-client privileged information or records that are otherwise exempt by law from public inspection regarding legal advice. The OSBA Executive Committee will now enter executive session to consider attorney-client privileged information or records that are otherwise exempt by law from public inspection regarding legal advice. The executive session is held pursuant to ORS 192.6602F, quote, to consider information or records that are exempt by law from public inspection, unquote, ORS 192.3559 and ORS 40.225. The executive committee and guest Bob Steringer and OSBA staff members Emily Nishik, Haley Purcell, and Linnell Trissel, and guest Chrissy Wrights will now be moved into a breakout room for the duration of the executive session. Members of the media are permitted to attend. However, media are not permitted to disclose information discussed in the executive session. All other staff and members of the public will remain in the meeting room. No decisions will be made in this executive session. At the end of the executive session, we will return to open session and the session participants will again join the meeting room. Linnell, will you move us into the breakout room, please?
One moment, please.
Thank you.
My apologies. It has created a room that will also allow the individuals who asked not to be in there. If you could please, it will ask you to join that room. If those individuals who do not want to be in the room, just reject that request. You should be in the meeting room.
Noted. Thank you.
All right, welcome everyone. We're back in open session for our executive committee meeting. And Sammy, do you want to preside, or do you want me to finish up for this particular piece?
I would recommend that you continue to finish up any possible discussion and motions, and I'll be recusing myself from this discussion as well.
Yes.
Registered as present or abstaining if there's any actions.
All right. We have returned from executive session, so at this time, we in executive session, we discussed a board member complaint. And I believe that I will entertain a motion from one of the executive team members. Dawn or Emily, do you need some help with the language?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. The executive team in discussion considered a number of alternatives, and I believe that there will be a motion to recommend to the board to direct staff to work with legal counsel to provide a report on to undertake an investigation and to report to the board on their findings unless the complainant specifically requests that the board not proceed with the investigation.
Can I just say so moved?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I'll go ahead and state that motion again. To recommend to the board that it direct staff to work with legal counsel to provide a report, to undertake an investigation and to provide a report on that investigation with their findings to the board at a future meeting, unless the complainant specifically requests that the board not proceed with the investigation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So, and I will just say that the discussion was that Bob will at some point reach out to the complainant. However, there was a discussion that the board needs to vote on this motion. So we're recommending as an executive committee that to recommend an investigation. And if the board so moves, then Bob will, according to the motion, reach out first to the complainant to determine whether or not they wish to proceed. Because if an investigation does occur, it will be difficult or impossible to keep the identity of the complainant anonymous. So that is one of the considerations. But at this time, this is what the committee is recommending. Dawn or Emily, do you want to add anything, or Bob? Did I forget something?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, Sammy, do you want to take over for item number 6?
Absolutely. Just to make sure you declare the results of the decision last
yeah.
act, correct? And maybe if you want to record any abstentions.
Yeah, motion approved. Was there any abstentions?
I do abstain.
Yeah,
I abstain.
okay, 2 abstentions, 2 abstentions. Emily Nishik.
I just have a clarifying question since did you all want this to happen in the next regularly scheduled board meeting or in a special meeting, or was that discussed?
We didn't actually discuss that. Yeah. So that would be, I think, appropriate for this larger group to discuss.
There's no recommendation that a special meeting be held for this sole purpose.
The next regular meeting is in person, is that right?
January.
Yes,
January.
in January.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't discuss it. I guess my personal opinion is January would be appropriate. But I don't have a strong opinion if others do. Anybody? So probably add it to the agenda of the January meeting. And Bob will inform the complainant as to the result of this meeting. So he's offered to do that, and I think that's appropriate.
I guess I have a question maybe. So if Bob informs the person the result of the meeting before the next meeting, and then the person says, don't bring it up at the January meeting because I don't want an investigation, then what happens?
That'll be part of our report to the board, so that it has the benefit of that information when it decides what to do.
Okay, thank you. But you would still bring it up to the board.
Yes.
Well, because the board's been informed that, you know, a complaint has come in, so we need to keep the board informed. And I will just say that, you know, these are never the kind of issues that we enjoy dealing with as either as a full board or as an executive committee. I think our intention is to do everything we can to support board members, but also to protect the organization and to be mindful of the potential risks that could be incurred. And so we're trying to do our make the decisions that are with most judicious in respect to both the organization and to board members. So with that, I think we're ready to move on to number 6.
And Mr. President, do you, am I needed for any of the additional items?
I do not believe so. If there's no objection from staff, you may be excused, counsel. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Bye, Bob. Always a pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you, Madam President-elect, for handing the floor to me for the next item. We have the December 2024 Executive Committee meeting agenda and rescheduling of December meeting. There are some priorities or some items that may benefit from rescheduling of the meeting, and I'll hand it over to Emily Nishik to share more details.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. We don't have the full agenda to go over today, and we don't normally go over them in these meetings, but I did just want to flag that we thought it would be a good idea to move our December executive committee meeting to the following week on December 17th. So that we are meeting after the ballots and election is over for OSBA. So we would have those results of both the resolution and the board members. And so just wanted to check in and see if that worked with you all to save Linnell a doodle. 17th at 12:30, same time. So we could move forward with that. And we will have an executive session at that meeting as well to review some legal advice around the caucuses and membership, who can be a member, that we'll have prepared and ready to go, that you'll receive ahead of time.
Excellent. Thank you.
Linnell, sorry, Haley, and then Don. Okay, Haley only?
I just wanted to mention that I think that we might be considering doing a 2-hour meeting rather than a 1-hour meeting, because I don't know that we'll be able to get through all of the things in 1 hour.
Sounds good.
Thank
I
you.
say I might be the one who's gonna ask for a doodle. I need to double check with my app to see when I'm gonna be flying, either the day before or that day. And there's a couple of time zones to figure out. So, with permission, maybe if we can table this for about until the end of the agenda, I'll make sure to verify as my app is updating and I can do some math. But anybody else have any conflict, including you, Chrissy?
I don't at this point.
Thank you. And just to make sure I capture the time. Thank you, Chrissy. Emily, you said the same time, 12 o'clock PM on the 17th of December for 2 hours, correct?
It's 12:30, but we could make it 12 o'clock if that works for everyone too.
Okay. Any objection, 12 o'clock? I will double check from my calendar and stuff, and I'll try to get back to all of us within this time. If not, sorry, we might end up with a doodle. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we will table this and to the end of the agenda. Scheduling a 2025 executive committee meetings. It is a good practice for us during this time to start scheduling different days and times that works for us. It is advisable to accommodate people's work schedules and lives, but also our staff schedules and lives. So evenings might be not advisable. I'll say evenings are not advisable to be really mindful of our staff time. Something consistent is advisable as well. A few thoughts here I have about the schedule that we may need to consider is I do have only one possible conflict with Tuesdays that I will share in the chat, and I'll read it for the record. I do have a fair dismissals appeals board on February 25 to February 27. And also I want to highlight we may need to consider any education committees meetings during the long session to avoid those when we meet. But other than that, I don't know if Chrissy and everybody else, do you have any objections to keep the Tuesday, the first, or is it first or second Tuesday of the month as is, or do you prefer that we go through a doodle to figure out when we should meet?
Well, Mr. President, I think I get to pick when we have meetings. I think that's the thing I've been most excited about is being president, that I get to pick. And I'm an early riser, so I'm suggesting 6 a.m. How does that sound?
Let's do it.
Thumbs up. Okay, no, I'm not.
I forgot. It's true. The president gets to propose the time.
I do get to pick that. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. But it seems to me, and I guess I really honestly, I don't have a full-time job, so I'm very flexible. And so I am in the mode of wanting to accommodate people. And it seems like the noon hour might be a good time. I would like to hear from people about what, and I don't necessarily care about the days of the week. It feels like Monday is too soon. I want to give staff time to have a chance to prepare. So I really want to hear from Emily and Haley and Linnell, making sure we're being respectful of your time as well as the board members. So
This time has worked well for me, on Tuesdays at noon, but I don't really have a preference on the day of the week other than I agree with you. Monday would not allow us time to prepare the things we need to prepare, so.
Yeah, I think Monday and Friday, no. Monday, Friday, no. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Emily, Nishik, what do you think?
This works for me as well. I do think the education hearings is a good point, and I feel like those are Tuesday, Thursday, but I need to just go check really quick.
Okay. Oh, you sweetheart. Well, I don't want to, Linnell, I don't want to take up all of that time, but thank you for the offer. 7:30 to 4. Emily Smith, you're a very busy lady. What do you think?
This I think works as well as anything.
Okay, and Dawn, Ziggy can be fed and we're good. So I would suggest then, perhaps we go ahead and work on either Tuesday or Wednesday, perhaps depending on the education committee schedule. And I would prefer to start at 12. Not personally, but I just feel like that might be easier for Emily. Some of you, you have so many meetings scheduled that maybe the lunch hour. What a better group to spend lunch with than us, right? So I'm just thinking if that's. Sammy, what about you? I know you're usually in an airport.
Just to reiterate, we were talking either the second Tuesday or second Wednesday of the month.
Yeah.
I have no objections. Usually I try to fit in my site visits on Wednesdays, so it is rarely I will have a conflict on Wednesdays, but it is more likely I'm gonna have. It's the same. Either I will be okay with either way. So don't let me influence it one way or the other.
Okay, Chrissy, what about you? What's your schedule?
So, I would prefer Tuesdays at noon as I have a volunteer obligation on Wednesdays at 12:30. That I can change, but would rather not.
Okay. All right, thank you for that input. And Sonia, you're welcome to continue. I bet we won't get you, but
I don't think so. I'm good. It's been fun.
we're not doing it at 7 o'clock in the morning though. So I would
Damage is
say,
done.
I would say let's tentatively try Wednesdays, but I'd like to let's change it to noon. And let's but if Wednesdays doesn't work, Tuesdays is we'll just do that. I think that's so could we do that pending kind of knowing a little bit more about the education committee scheduling?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, without objection. So Emily, do you feel this is a good direction for now? Awesome. So let's pull back the last agenda item. I will be potentially 11 p.m. When we meet at 12 p.m. So if we can start at 12 p.m. on the 17th, that would work, but I'll be in a different time zone where it's going to be late night. But that's totally okay. So, but I'm not gonna be in the air, so that's gonna work out. So without objection, can we make it on the next executive committee is going to be rescheduled for Tuesday the 17th, 12 p.m. for up to 2 hours on the 17th. Is that what we proposed initially, correct? Okay. Any objections? All right, seeing no objection, Linnell will send a modified calendar invite for the 17th of December. Cool. Where are we now? Scheduling. Are we at 8 for the good of the order or request of future executive committee agenda topics? All right.
Yes, 8, Mr. President.
Thank you. So is there any future agenda items that officers would like to present to this committee, whether requests that you would like from board members that you would like to move forward or requests from you about future agenda item for this committee to consider? Give me a second, 23rd. And just as for your information, Chrissy, in alignment with the process of January 2020, the process that the board voted on in January 2024, we have the last item for officers to bring up any agenda items that were requested from board members or that they request themselves for this committee to consider in a future agenda item. And after this committee considers as an agenda item, it might be a topic that we want to consider for the full board to consider at a future agenda item. So this is a time for us to bring that up. And at any time between meetings, any officer or board member may reach out to the president or the executive director with a request if they would like. Did I summarize the process correctly? Yes.
Yeah, it's a guideline that we enacted in terms of how we bring items to the agenda. Mr. President, I have an appointment at 2. I do want to mention, because our timing is coming up, that our next event where we travel will be to Washington, D.C. And one of the things that I think we need to think about is preparing our team before we go. And in the past, we've done a meeting or two with Efren, and there's usually a national NSBA training of advocacy by webinar. But I want to make sure that our team feels really well prepared and knows what our assignments are, knows what we're going to be talking about. So I'll be talking to folks about that. So just be prepared for probably another, some kind of a session at some point prior to when we all go. And I'm assuming everybody can go. Adrian will be taking the lead on this for our team. Awesome. Okay, thank you for that. It's going to be a great trip. And is everybody planning on going to DC? Awesome. Okay,
Yes.
so I just want that to sort of be in your thoughts, and we'll be communicating about that.
Thank you. Anything else for the good of the order? See none. This meeting is adjourned at 1:55. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.